Good evening all and welcome to another video on All How the Ale. It's Sunday night, which means it's trad beer night, and given that it's fallen Acorn February, the one we're going for tonight is this one. It is Expedition IPA, and it is a 5.5% IPA, and it says on the side of the bottle that India Pale Ale is a style that has seen a massive resurgence and evolution. Expedition IPA follows the traditional origins of the 150 plus year old IPA style. I'm really pleased about that. I love a good traditional IPA. And it says it's named after one of the many ships from the East India Trading Company who would have been shipping IPA in the mid-1800s. It's full of Chinook and Brewer's Gold hops. Initial dry bitterness is followed by a citrus explosion of complex grapefruit and marmalade flavours. So yeah, it's got the makings of something special. And I've enjoyed every single sip of every Fallen Acorn beer that I've had. So yeah, and just going back to the bottle artwork, it's very similar to the double IPA I had the other week with the sofa in the window. I can't remember the name. It was a very long, convoluted name, but it's got a similar colourway on the bottle artwork, and I like to refer to that as like the Peter McKinnon colourway. And if you're not familiar with Peter McKinnon, he's a photographer, videographer. He's got a brilliant channel on YouTube. Check him out. He's got some stunning content, and he uses that kind of colourway through a lot of his videos. It works really, really well. Anyway, it appeals. It's old school. It's classic. It's timeless. Hopefully the beer inside is exactly that. Let's get it out into a glass and see what we think. So, nice little puff of smoke as we open the bottle. We're pouring into a Stormtrooper glass today, just because. The pour is pale, golden, kind of what we want. It's got a nice head coming on it. Might try not to make it too hefty, but what can you do? It's like one of the old sweeps from back in the day, where you get a nice chunky head on it. That's the beer in a glass. It looks the part, doesn't it? Look at that, up close. Can't quite see my mug through that. Slight hint of bottle conditioning going on. You've got a nice finger and a half of relatively tight and compact white head. It looks stellar. It looks like it's come out of a cask. It looks great. It's a whiff. It smells old school. I couldn't be happier. You've got that beautiful bitterness coming through on the nose. Ever so slight resin. The pithiness of the grapefruit is a hint of orange, and that, I guess that's the marmalade thing they're going on about. A slight acidity on the nose. It smells lovely. It smells like it's going to be a good, proper old school IPA. Anyway, it looks good, smells good. See what it tastes like. Cheers. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my indeed. One moment. Oh. That is special. That is very special. Okay, it's bitter. Love it. It's sticky. Love it. It's resinous. It's hoppy. It's everything that I love about an IPA with an old school twist. And I say an old school twist because a lot of the modern IPAs tend to be exactly that. They're modern, hop forward beasties with very little regard to the old school. This is sublime. You've got nice resinous hops, bitter, pithy grapefruit bitterness. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's as hoppy as the day is long. And on the back end, you get that slight orangey note that they refer to as marmalade. And it's that Seville bitter orange with just And being bottle conditioned, and if I'm wrong and it's not bottle conditioned, it's one of the best non-conditioned bottled beers I've ever had. The mouthfeel is exquisite. It's got that cask delivered feel to it. It's kind of medium weight, velvety smooth, with just a hint of going against the nap on the velvet, if you know what I mean. That slight prickliness as it goes in. Ah, love it. That is a firm favourite. It tastes stronger than the 5.5 as well, and I think that's all that bitterness coming to the front and just smashing you in the face and saying, "Look at me." It's huge. It's huge. Ah, oh yes. Glad I bought more than one of those. So we're going to give it some points. The Fallen Acorn Expedition IPA has got 827 check-ins and a criminally low 3.55 average score on Untapped across those 827 check-ins. Now I say criminally low, and this is becoming a common theme with all the Fallen Acorn beers that I have, because they are exceptional, and there are things about that beer that just I've not had in a bottled beer for a very, very long time. We'll come to that as I give it the score. So we're going to give it the usual 5 pillars of judgment: the looks, the aroma, the body, the taste, and the finish, the value for money, the buy it again, and the bonus tick boxes. So yeah, the looks. It looks a stunning beer. It looks amazing. Slightly hazy, golden coloured beer. We had a nice 1.5 to 2 fingers of whitehead that was relatively tight and compact. I love the fact it's a little bit hazy. It's just beautiful, and it looks very much like a beer I used to get from Woodford's called Headcracker, and that was a fairly hefty barley wine, and that was beautiful, utterly beautiful, and it has looks and flavours of that nature. So yeah, it looks stunning, and I cannot get enough of that. I could sit and look at it all day. It's mesmerising. It's getting a full point. The aroma is promising grapefruit and orange. It delivers on both fronts. And I've failed to mention the malts at all throughout this beer. They're there. They're balanced quite nicely. They're fairly sweet, as I would say, compared to the bitterness that you're getting from the hops. And that's where the balance comes in. It's really well executed on the nose. There's a slight biscuity note sitting behind it as well. It's lovely. I like it. It's medium strength. Really good. We know what it's got. It's got a point. The body, as I mentioned to, it's like it's come from a cask. It's got that beautiful, slightly heavier than medium weight to it, that velvety soft mouth feel with just a hint of prickle every now and then when that carbonation comes through. It's sublime. It's getting a full point. And the taste. Well, we all know I love them hoppy, bitter and long when it comes to IPAs. And this one is exactly that. It's hoppy, it's bitter, and it's long. It's resinous. It's got the grapefruit, it's got the orange, it's got that beautiful balanced malt behind it. But it smashes you in the face like a freight train with the hops and the bitterness and that resin. It's perfect. It's getting a point. And the finish. It's a long finish. It's bitter and it's hoppy, much like the flavour. And can't get enough. It's one I could sit and drink all night long quite happily until my liver gave out. Just to experience that flavour and that finish. Can I fault it? No, I can't. It's beautiful. I love the bitterness it brings. So, we're on to the extra tick boxes. The value for money. Well, a 500ml bottle of Expedition IPA direct from Fallen Acorn is £3.70 a bottle. And I think that is worth every single penny. I could go down to my local Tesco and spend, £1.80 for a bottle of an IPA from there, and it would be good. But this is better by quite some margin. Not only does it taste better, it looks better. I love this old school bottle artwork. It's amazing. It just appeals. It looks great. It tastes great. And like I say, at £3.70 a bottle, it's not cheap compared to some of your supermarket beers, but it's more than double the value. So yeah, absolutely, without question, that's getting a massive, massive tick. And I may go back and give it a second. I'm going to give it a second. Give it a second. That's huge value for money. Would I buy it again? Well, I bought 2 to start with because I love an IPA and I wanted to try more than one. And yeah, I would absolutely, without question, go and buy this again. And the most important box of all, I guess, is the bonus tick box. And it was invented for beers of this quality that are 5 out of 5, but they deserve that little bit more to elevate them to God tier, shall we say. And this one is well and truly deserving of the bonus tick box, which means Expedition IPA from Fallen Acorn has got a full complement of 5 out of 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4 extra tick boxes, because that value for money cannot be ignored. So there we go, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Arguably, to date, the best bottled IPA I've had. There we go. There we go. And I've had some good ones, some very good ones, but this is better by a long shot. So there we go. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to be sad to end Fallen Acorn February when it finally finishes next week. Hopefully there'll be some more of the beers that they were out of stock of come back into stock, and I can get some more in and sample those and thoroughly enjoy these ones on repeat purchase yet again. So on that note, ladies and gents, I'm just going to leave it there and say that has been a rather exceptionally good beer. I've been Nick. Those down there are the buttons. You know exactly what to do with them by now. You've got the like, comment, dislike, and subscribe. Choose any combination of them as you wish. And I will see you again next week for another one. Bye.